He's a burnout.
Same thing like with that Eagles game. Okay, I was there,
yep.
So I didn't get to hear Tony Romo and Jim Nantz and Gene Steratore go back and forth over. Well, was Bo Nick's hand coming forward on that obvious fumble because they called it a fumble on the field? And then the mugging that Dallas Goedert had at the end of the game.
Yep.
I mean, instant replay is ridiculous. I'm
I
almost
hate
to the
replay.
point with you guys. Do away with it because when it seems like they get it right on the field, but they look at it so daggone close, and it's supposed to be obvious, blatant, information basically to turn it over, and they're still not turning it over. It's ridiculous at how they're doing.
I hate replay in all these sports. Hate.
It just drags the game down.
It's awful.
It kills momentum.
It's awful.
Well, being up there though for this weekend, it was a wonderful experience. It was like getting to hang out with friends and the folks that hosted me and Owen and took us to the games and everything. It was phenomenal. But man, I'm telling you what, if none of you folks have ever been to an Eagles or Phillies game like with that much on the line, it was crazy. I've never been to a playoff baseball game. That's the first time I've ever been to a playoff baseball game. The atmosphere was just crazy to begin with, and you could feel the air getting sucked out of that place as soon as the Dodgers got those first two runs Saturday night.
That is the deal, brother.
It was like somebody stuck a shop vac over top of that place and sucked the air out of it. It was insane. I've never experienced anything like that.
And the Phillies have slowly turned into the Braves. Stay right there. I want to talk to you about that because what fans expect now, that pressure gets transferred. As John Adams with Heather Harrington is now up on our YouTube channel, if you want to go look at it, that is one of the funniest things I've ever seen. But what fans expect now gets transferred onto the players, that pressure. And then when you have an idiot managing your team like the Phillies have, this Rob Thompson guy is a punk and a clown at this point. Just an absolute punk and clown, man. The guy bunts last night, man, in the ninth inning. Bunts! With the slowest runner in the world on second and the other team running a wheel play. Who does that? Can't wait for this guy to get fired. I cannot wait. We love you. We appreciate you. To the radio listener, the great William Patterson's got you next. Preach! See you tomorrow.
You're listening to FM 1.7 and AM 1340, WKGN Knoxville, and W289CU Knoxville. Fan Run Radio.
Duval County, Florida. But we'll talk about that here in a minute. Plenty to cover the rest of the Tuesday, though, as we'll talk about Tennessee's matchup up against Arkansas. We'll do a little bit of a preview and understanding this Arkansas Razorbacks team. Obviously, a very rough start to the season, a lot of change heading into this one on Saturday, but this is still a respectable opponent and a very good offense. We'll tell you more about that here in a little bit. We'll also have our best bets look ahead. These have been very important over the last couple of weeks, and having these winning weeks. We've had 5 straight, folks, so a good opportunity today to kind of look at these early lines, see the line movement, and see where right now I side on a Tuesday leading up to Saturday's games. And now we're number 2. We'll give our NFL Week 5 takeaways, and credit to the Titans. They get a win. We'll talk about the Titans getting a win. We'll talk about the Broncos going on the road and upsetting the Eagles. We sleep in May. Drake May goes on the road and gets a win at Buffalo. A very fun week of NFL football. We'll have all of our Week 5 takeaways. We'll also react to Talk Sports Power Rankings that were given out this morning. They do the MySpace top 8 for Cody, and then John does his top 5. We'll react to that top 5, top 8 that was given earlier this morning. And as always, we'll wrap up with our final thoughts on this Tuesday. Before Trevor officially takes the stage, we'll welcome in the rest of the crew, beginning with Allie. Allie, how are you on this Tuesday?
First of all, I cannot take you seriously right now. This is so funny. Did we give any context for people listening and not watching?
Well, so if you were tuning in last week, so our loyal Playbook listeners know that Brett and I, who's usually our producer, he's out on fall break right now, but Brett had said, if you get the win, I expect you to come in as Trevor Lawrence. And I go, that's not an issue for me. I'm happy. I wish I could do this every day. Come in as Trevor Lawrence. But so that was the agreement. And obviously last night, we'll talk about it here in a second, but things go well. And today I'm Trevor Lawrence. So
there's nothing stopping you from doing this every day.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe not. With Tennessee-based radio. If I were in Jacksonville and did a radio show every day, maybe I'd do this. But
I still don't think it would be acceptable.
Probably not.
So
it's full wig going on over here. If you aren't watching, if you can watch, I would recommend it. This is entertaining.
Yes. Look, I was looking forward to this match. I don't want to get into it yet. We're not there yet, but. Yes, for our video audience, you can see that Trevor Lawrence is with us in the building, and it stems from Brett and I's original agreement. But Allie, you had fall break this week. How was fall break?
I did. It was great. I went to Austin, Texas, visited a couple of my friends that live there. We went to the ACL Music Festival to see Luke Combs and a couple other country artists that I'd never seen before. So it was awesome. And yeah, I love Texas. It was fun.
Well, good. Well, good stuff. No fall break for the rest of us, as we are hardworking people in the industry now. Sam filling in once again today for Brett. I appreciate it. How are you?
Doing good. I also can't take you seriously in this question, but I'm happy for you last night. I'm happy that ultimately that was a division win for us, William. The AFC South, a clean 4-0 sweep on the week. It's one of the best divisions in football.
Yeah. I mean, and I remember from this summer when Max Pennell was on with me, Max would say, this is JV football. We talk about the AFC North one day, and then we talk about the AFC South, and he's like, well, we just went from varsity to JV. Right now,
let's walk that back, man. Walk that back.
Right now, it might be a little bit different. Zach, how are you?
I am doing well. I'm glad that on a rainy day in Knoxville, we get a little bit of sunshine in the studio.
There we go. Hey, I love that analogy. That was awesome. Well played from Zach. Real quick, checking the YouTube chat, they're in on the action as well. Magic 8 Vol says, is that Trevor Lawrence or ... Chad Powers? That's a good one too. Chad Powers, the new show out. I haven't seen but a couple of clips of it, but
they did have a screening at Tennessee for it, like an early screening.
They did. I remember they had one at Georgia too. Like the halftime performance was the filming of that show, last year. But anyway,
what team does he play for?
Well, he plays for Oregon, and then I guess he transfers or gets another year. I haven't watched the show, but he plays for the Georgia something. And the mascot's a fish. So it's
I've been confused seeing the real teams in the clips that I've looked at.
Oh,
I've seen Penn State and Oregon and Georgia.
Yeah, they play real teams, but he's on a fictional team. Okay. And I think they play in Turner Field in Atlanta. I think that's where they play unofficially. All right. Well, let's get into the action with our first things first topic. And it's Trevor Lawrence joins the show because last night in Duval County, the Jacksonville Jaguars defeated the Kansas City Chiefs primetime Monday Night Football. To open the segment, we've added some new bits to the show. Do you mind clicking our new bit, Sam, real quick to welcome the introduction of this?
No way.
Duval. Oh, that's music to my ears.
Oh, my gosh.
Liam Cohen. Thank you, Liam, for helping us out in this segment. Let's get into it. Last night was awesome. Now, I had talked about it yesterday in our final thoughts. And I know a lot of people from Knoxville do not give a crap about Jacksonville Jaguars football, but this is me. This is on my show. I can talk about what I want, and I want to talk about Trevor Lawrence to begin because this was a big-time matchup. I was so excited for this one because, look, let's be real. The Jaguars haven't had that much success as of late. And last night on Monday Night Football, prime time, all eyes, you're up against Patrick Mahomes. And here's a guy that Trevor Lawrence comes into that spot on his birthday and is able to deliver an awesome win. Turned 26 on Monday, went 18 of 25, 221 passing yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, and showed off his athleticism. A lot of that athleticism that we saw at Clemson when he came out of college was on full display last night. The Chiefs really struggled to wrap up and contain Lawrence in the pocket. And Trevor was able to make a couple of great plays, running out, extending drives that way. And Monday marked the Jaguars' first win against the Chiefs since November of 2009. So this was a big one. And I'm going to need a couple more Duvals from Liam Cohen here. Real quick, Sam, hit it.
Duval.
One more time. I need it one more time.
Duval.
Milking this.
Allie's about to walk out.
Yeah, Allie's like, I came back from fall break for this. But, look, in seriousness, over the course of the game, I thought, Kansas City came out and offensively they carried a lot what they looked like against Baltimore last week. They were in stride. They got it to Travis Kelce pretty early and often in this one. Now, the pick play on the first touchdown, I was bamboozled by. I think literally Patrick Mahomes waved that flag off by running up to the officials and begging and pleading and telling them the case. I've never seen that before. But that was an egregious no call, but we'll let it go. Obviously, Jaguars drive down the field a little bit later. Trevor fumbles on the end zone, at the end zone and on fourth down trying to punch it in. Nick Bolton makes a great play, the linebacker out of Missouri. And then Kansas City, I should say, drives it down 97 yards. At that point, it kind of felt like this one was going in the Chiefs' direction. It kind of felt like this was going to be the Jaguars, who had a nice start to the season, kind of get humbled by the real team. But then as the game goes on, Jacksonville's able to create a couple of great plays and extend drives with Trevor using his legs and also finding his way into the end zone. Parker Washington on a dot. And I felt like slowly the Jaguars were able to gain momentum. I thought one of the biggest pivotal points of this game was coming out of halftime, Kansas City goes 3 and out. And Jacksonville is then allowed to go down the field, tie it up. And then from that point on, I thought Jacksonville played really good football. The interception on Trevor is something that everyone sent me, and everyone's like, oh, there he is. You knew he was going to come up at some point. But that, I thought, was defensive pass interference on the Chiefs. I thought there were 2 bad pass interference calls that were not called in this one. But regardless, 1:40 to go, down 4 against Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs, and you need a guy to take you the length of the field. And it was Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence delivers. Now, it wasn't pretty as he stumbled and fumbled and mumbled into the end zone, but he found a way in. And that's all that matters, because at the end of the day, the Jaguars are 4-1, and that was one of the most fun performances I have ever watched from the Jaguars. That was a lot of fun. Guys, your takes on this game. Sam, beginning with you. I know you're a Titans guy. I know you don't want to give the Jaguars any credit, but what'd you make of the game last night?
Yeah, no, I mean, I think this is a huge, just like a huge win for the Liam Cohen era, I think, for the Jags, and just kind of turning over maybe a new leaf kind of compared to what some of those teams would do in the past. And I think, getting off to that start where you kind of go a couple 3 and outs and then you get that fumble and you're down 14-0 all of a sudden. And I think a lot of times in the past, those Jaguars teams would have kind of folded in that moment and kind of let those bigger teams like the Chiefs just kind of go in there and kind of swallow them in prime time. And then a really, really impressive touchdown drive there to get it to 14-7, and then just played a dominant second half there. And I definitely think the athleticism of Trevor Lawrence was on display, and it just didn't really feel like they had an answer for some of those scrambles that he was able to get out there. And when the play was breaking down, he was able to go out there and come up with some big time plays and then some big time throws down the stretch.
Yeah, I also want to credit Jacksonville's defense. Devin
Sure.
Lloyd right now is playing like a defensive player of the year candidate, has 4 interceptions on the season. And a lot of people say that was just a bad decision from Patrick Mahomes. Go watch the play. It is a great disguise from Lloyd as he jumps in to the pass rush looking like he's going to blitz blitz Mahomes, and he drops back at the last second. It's kind of what I do on EA Sports College Football. I kind of try to bait the opposing quarterback into throwing it in the middle of the field. Devin Lloyd does exactly that, jumps the receiver and makes an incredible play, a 99-yard touchdown, pick 6. That's the longest in Jaguars history. That was incredible, and I thought that was a big turning point in this one as both teams had scored found momentum in that second half, and you needed a game-winning play. The Jaguars lead the league in turnovers heading into the game in terms of turnovers caused defensively. You needed one to be big in this one, and that was absolutely huge. And what I loved about last night outside of the game, I got a text from Allie after that play, all caps, oh my gosh, like I just turned the game on and I'm watching, and because usually Allie's like, Monday night, like I don't really watch Monday Night Football. Usually, like we don't have it on because you don't have YouTube TV, right?
Correct.
So by chance, it was on at Allie's place last night, and she got to watch the rest of the way. So that was really awesome. Again, that all caps text, I could feel the energy coming out of it. Allie obviously only got to watch a little bit of the action, but what'd you make of the game?
Well, first off, I live in a house with a bunch of girls who do not give a rip about any kind of sports at all. So I got full control of the TV because they were all away. So I had the whole house to myself, and I was like, sure, I'll turn on the game. And immediately, pick 6, 99 yards.
Yeah.
It was crazy. I thoroughly enjoyed the fourth quarter watch that I got to have. Really happy for you. I was like, he's freaking out right now. I just know. But they really showed some grit, and they managed the clock well in that fourth quarter. And I mean, what a happy birthday to Trevor Lawrence. Like a great birthday present for him. That was a fun watch.
Well, she texted and she was like, I just tuned in, and then boom, the first play is a pick 6. And I go, don't turn the channel. Like, keep on watching. Like, I'm all about superstitions. Like, don't turn it. Just keep on watching. But
maybe I'm the Jaguars' good luck charm.
Maybe.
That's probably what it is.
Maybe so. Zach, any takeaways from you last night?
I thought Trevor down the stretch played the throws that he made to Brian Thomas on the sideline were unbelievable throws. You can say what you want about the rushing touchdown that got you to score. Him getting down there to the goal line, flawless job.
Yeah.
And really needed. And shout out to the Jags, 4-1.
Yeah.
Along with the Colts.
Yeah.
8-2 combined.
Yeah. I know that is impressive too. I mean, we'll talk about it a little bit later, when we mentioned the Colts beatdown this weekend, but a lot of people thought the Texans would once again win this division. Right now, they're 2-3 on the season. They've bounced back a little bit, even though they beat the pitiful Ravens this weekend. But the division's wide open. So, real quick before we head to the break, I want to hear one more time from Liam Cohen to celebrate the big time. Sam's gonna be so fed up with this here soon.
Duval.
I mean, how about that? That's my new favorite bit. That's my new favorite thing we've added into the system.
We'll take advantage of it now because I don't know if Brett's going to do that when he comes back.
Yeah, he's going to refuse.
Yeah, Brett. If Brett were here today, he'd probably find a way to say like last night was a fluke, or the Chiefs gave it to you. Like he wouldn't give me any credit today, I'm sure. Real quick before we head to the break, checking the YouTube chat. Buck says that was totally a BS situation with that call, referring to those defensive pass interferences and the OPI on the Chiefs. Totally agree with that one, Buck. And then Magic 8 Vol says Trevor needed that drive to take the next step. Who had the Jags and Colts 4-1 on their preseason bingo card? I agree. That is quite the revelation early in the NFL season. But hey, we're only 5 weeks in. I know I'm dressed up today. It was a big win. Obviously, a lot to play, a lot more football to play this season. But it was pretty.
Can we add on to this if the Jags continue to just be like, if we can get to, I don't know, 8-2 maybe by week 10, will you buy a pair of shoulder pads to put on with it?
Oh, he's got more to this outfit.
I know he's got the pants. And it's disappointing that he didn't go the pants.
Yeah, first, we
should have made William do a standing show today.
I got to be mature. I got to be mature. And the pants is a little far. I know that's a lot saying, the wig and the jersey's too much, but I would like some shoulder pads. I need shoulder pads and a helmet. That's where I really get going. But I might have to save some money. I might have to take a trip.
Text Trevor again.
Yeah. Well, so Allie, I texted Trevor yesterday. Happy birthday.
Oh my! You have his number?
I do.
Did he respond?
Well, he saw it. That's all that matters. He saw it. It buzzed. It was notified, and I helped him out. I said, show him tonight. Cheers emoji, and he showed him.
That's what did it.
The only thing that could have made Williams Tuesday better was waking up to a text from Trevor like, "Oh man, I really appreciate it."
Well, I was waiting in the and after the game when Laura Rutwood was interviewing him, I was expecting him to say, and shout out to that 901 number that texted me earlier today. I was expecting something, but it's okay.
So where did you find his number?
I don't know if I can disclose that on the radio.
Yeah, fair.
It like, I guess I can. It leaked out like in March. Like all the 2021 NFL draftees on one big document. It's like 500 pages. It was a thing for a minute. It might have been in like February. It was in February. It was before the Super Bowl because it leaked out and people were calling like Devontae Smith and they were calling him like, FaceTime him and they were answering it because it was their actual number. I don't know how it leaked out, but
I'd be shocked if he's still using that number. There's got to be like hundreds of people. That
somebody saw the message.
It delivered. It's blue. He hadn't blocked me yet. I've only sent 2 messages. That was my second one yesterday. The last one was in like March.
Oh, I thought you said you sent 2 yesterday.
No. I'm not going to bother him.
God forbid you double text Trevor Lawrence.
He's got a lot going on, man. I can't. He's got a new kid. His birthday. He's got a lot going on.
So let's say Joey takes us to the national championship. Are you trying to find his number, or you don't care as much as this Trevor Lawrence passion that you have?
Well, I'd be very happy for Joey. I'm not going to text him though. Trevor's I've been Trevor Lawrence for Halloween the last 2 years. I guess I could be Joey Aguilar this year. I don't know, but maybe it brings good mojo. I don't know, but I will say Jaguars are 1-0 when William Pattison texts Trevor Lawrence. When we come back,
oh God,
when we come back, William Pattison will join us, and he will carry the rest of the way. And we will break down Tennessee and Arkansas as we get ready for this weekend's action in Neyland Stadium. Stay right here. It's the Playbook presented by VIP Play on Fan Run Radio.
For the fans, by the fans, this is Fan Run Radio, Knoxville.
Attention service members and veterans. Introducing the Griffin Law Firm, your trusted ally in military legal matters. From court martials to benefit claims, at Griffin Law, your mission is their mission. Here's VFL Marshall Griffin.
As a veteran and retired military attorney, I've successfully defended lifelong benefits and helped preserve professional futures. So I know that when you hire a military justice lawyer, you maximize your chance to get relief. With my unique experience, I can advocate for you because there's no military matter that's too big or too small. Let us help you make these critical decisions that could affect the rest of your life. Remain silent. Request counsel. Call Griffin Law.
For a free consultation, call 888-707-4282. That's 888-707-4282. Or just visit griffinlawdefense.com.
The number one problem we see at our clinic is delaying treatment. ED can get worse.
Book your appointment right now. Call 865-544-8220. Prefer privacy? Book online in under 30 seconds at menspronaknoxville.com.
At our clinics, men's sexual health is the whole job. Look, I'm a normal guy too. I hate going to the doctor, but we've helped so many guys in here just like you. Even if pills have failed, our medical team is going to take the time to talk you through it. Same day in-house lab, and the treatments, well, they could change your life.
Your local medical team has your back. ED, performance, Peyronie's, size and shape modeling. We tailor what works for you.
I'll get to the point. Can you imagine epic performance and epic sex? Yeah, I said it.
A stronger you is closer than you think. We're available right now. Call 865-544-8220 or book in 30 seconds or less at menspronaknoxville.com. Men's Pro Knoxville, making it happen.
Hey Knoxville! Surfside iced tea and vodka, made with real brewed tea, is only 100 calories, 2 grams of sugar, with no bubbles and no troubles. That's right, zero carbonation, so it's easy to sip and enjoy. Headed to a game day or party at a friend's house? Bring an iced tea or lemonade variety pack from Surfside, or try their green tea and new raspberry tea vodka. Find the can with the sunset stripes this season. Surfside iced tea and vodka, sold at bars, restaurants, and stores near you. Surfside iced tea and vodka, sunshine in a can. Must be 21 or older. Enjoy responsibly.
Got a flat tire? Strange noise under the hood? Don't stress. Roll into Matlock Tire and Auto Service. From oil changes and brake repairs to brand new tires, Matlock's certified techs do it all. Fast, friendly, and fair priced, Matlock is the home of the price match guarantee. Bring in any competitor's ad and Matlock will match the exact same tire for the exact same price. Matlock Tire and Auto Service. 5 locations in East Tennessee. Visit MatlockTireService.com to find the location nearest you and schedule your appointment.
Got a problem tree looming over your home? Call ECR Total Landscapes. Whether it's trimming, removal, or storm cleanup, our certified pros get the job done safely and efficiently. We're licensed, insured, and ready 24/7 for emergency calls. Big or small, we cut them all. ECR Total Landscapes. Call now for a free estimate, 865-384-2012, and mention promo code FANRUN for free stump grinding on any tree removal now through the end of the year. Also, visit us at ecrtotallandscapes.com.
All right, back here on the Playbook, presented by VIP Play. We appreciate you listening along with us, whether it be on the free Fan Run Radio app, 105.7 FM or 1340 AM here in K-Town on the local dial, or on the X/YouTube live stream. Have your listener watching. We do appreciate your time. I'm back. William Pattison back in the building. Trevor is left. We appreciate Trevor's time coming in after that big-time win last night over the Chiefs, flying all the way from Jacksonville to Knoxville to come do a 15-minute radio segment.
Anything for you, of course.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right, let's switch over to Tennessee football, as after an open date last week, Tennessee is back in action this week as they host Arkansas in an SEC matchup at Neyland Stadium. Before we go inside the Razorbacks, however, we once again present news that we broke on the air yesterday, as Chris Lowe and Pete Nakos of On3 report that All-American defensive back Jermon McCoy is unlikely to play against Arkansas. Nakos reported in late September that McCoy had a target date to return this upcoming Saturday, but Josh Heupel refuted that report in his press conference last week, and it was a kind of an aggressive, telling, kind of an aggressive, like, no, that's not actually what's going on. So I'm intrigued by that answer, because a little bit later on yesterday, we got the unlikely comment from NACO. So I'm interested about where that news is coming from and how that's circulating. I don't think Josh Heupel really wants to let anything out of the bag. So, we'll see what unfolds this week. Wednesday, tomorrow, we'll have our first SEC availability report in terms of injuries. So we'll see where McCoy lands on that, and that'll give us a better grasp of what he looks like for Saturday. But right now, Nakos and Chris Lowe reporting that he is unlikely to play. So how big of a deal is it if McCoy is not able to play on Saturday? And my thing is this: I'm not necessarily worried for the matchup against Arkansas, but I know that you're going to need him against Alabama. Jeremy Bernard, Ryan Williams, Isaiah Horton, we talked about those guys yesterday and how impactful they were against Vanderbilt. They combined for 15 receptions and over 200 yards against the Commodores. They're a really strong group. They've got a lot of great playmakers, and Ty Simpson has really flipped the script from what he looked like against Florida State. So you need a McCoy in that type of matchup. Jermod last year won the matchup against Ryan Williams, folks. Remember that last year in Neyland. Williams had, 6 catches for 29 yards, somewhere around there? I don't think it was much more, if that's not the exact number. But McCoy did a really good job one-on-one in that matchup, and you need him once again this year for that one. So I wanted to see him play Saturday just to get his feet under him, because there's a difference between, practice reps and training reps to game reps, where it's full speed. There's no timeouts. There's no, let's take a second and go back and dissect that play. You got to go. So I wanted to see him play this weekend so you could get some of that under you before you go on the road and play in a night game in Tuscaloosa. So I think that's why it's a big deal, not necessarily what Arkansas brings to the table. And they are a good offense, putting up 37 points a game right now, but it's more so just getting acclimated before you go on the road for the big one is why I think it's a big deal. Allie, how big of a deal is it to you that McCoy might not play Saturday?
Yeah, I agree with what you're saying about getting acclimated, because when we talked about bringing David Sanders in, we wanted him to come in for a home game so he could get that feel. But he's a freshman and Jermon McCoy has experience, so not as worried. But he still, as we believe, hasn't been in practice and hasn't been taking any contact, so it would be still important, despite his experience, to bring him in a game like Arkansas at Neyland before going into a night game in Bryant-Denny Stadium, where the Vols have not had too much success. But just knowing what he can do for this defense, it's so hard to see him sitting out for so long. So we would hope to have him back, but
Sam, how big is it to you if McCoy's a no-go Saturday?
I don't think it's too big of a deal for the Arkansas game specifically, but yeah, I mean, I don't think it is an ideal scenario to potentially have your corner back for, a matchup at night on the road against maybe the most talented wide receiver trio in the country with Ryan Williams and Jeremy Bernard and Isaiah Horton over there. So I would have loved for him to get kind of like a ramp up week. And, maybe like you're saying, these reports aren't as accurate, and maybe we can kind of find our way into McCoy playing somehow this week. But if he can't play this week, I'd almost just don't even force him back for that Alabama game and just let him get a couple more weeks and just kind of have him for that stretch run, hopefully for Oklahoma or maybe just for Florida and Vanderbilt to end the season, and then hopefully you're in the playoff picture and you can kind of have him for the postseason.
Yeah, I'll touch on that here in a minute. Zach, want to get your opinion as well. How big of a deal is McCoy Saturday in your eyes?
I'm going to say I think Saturday, going to probably win the game without him. Sunday, though, next Saturday in Tuscaloosa, not good. I feel like I was very confident yesterday in taking that trip to Tuscaloosa. That excitement kind of goes down with no Jermon McCoy, because you saw what Georgia was able to do with him off the field.
Yeah. And, you mentioned that timeline, Sam. I do want to talk about that, because in the back of my mind, I know that there's nothing for this guy to lose. I mean, there's everything for this guy to lose if he goes out and plays. He doesn't have to play a snap this season. He'd still be a first-round pick right now. Now, if he goes out and, allows like 200 yards to Ryan Williams in his first game, then it's like, this guy might be a second rounder. I mean, we've seen it this year. Like, there are guys that, will take the risk of staying another year of college, and they'll take the additional NIL benefits from it. Like Nick Singleton and Katron Allen, I think, have lost millions of dollars this year. They're terrible. And Penn State, obviously, did not look good over the weekend. But Nick Singleton and Katron Allen, two of the best running backs in the country last year that would have been top 10 backs in last year's NFL draft, had 89 yards on 19 carries Saturday for the Penn State Nittany Lions. Like, if you play with fire, sometimes you'll get burnt. And I don't think McCoy is the type of player at his position to where, he's going to, have a really, really bad performance. He's had tons of time to recover from this ACL injury in January. But I do look at the game speed as a possible issue. Like, it's just a different thing. And folks on the YouTube chat chime in and share the same type of a takeaway here. Like, after being out 5 games, how much would he help you? Especially when he hadn't really practiced whole much. Like, that's the thing I was looking forward to yesterday. Now, obviously, we didn't get a confirmation, but I don't think he's practiced yet. If you're not even practicing, that doesn't tell me like he's going to play. But I mean, I just think the fatigue would definitely be there. And if you don't play him this week, I have a hard time saying, hey, man, go play Ryan Williams now. That's a tough assignment. And I'm not huge on Ryan Williams like everyone else. Like, I do think he is good, especially off the line of scrimmage, and that twitchiness, I think, could be big. But, I mean, that's still a big-time assignment. And a quarterback right now in Ty Simpson that's playing with a lot of confidence. So we'll table McCoy for now, switch back to the Razorbacks. As Rocky Top Insider's Ryan Shumpert provided a ton of great insight on the Arkansas team, highlighting the strengths and weaknesses of this group. And, Arkansas opened up the season with lopsided wins over Alabama A&M and Butch Jones and company in Arkansas State. And the Razorbacks then gave up a number of points to Ole Miss, but it was a back-and-forth affair. And we saw how Ole Miss looked against LSU. Maybe that was a little bit of a litmus test for what the Razorbacks were to be in the SEC. But then we see them blow an 18-point lead against Memphis and get absolutely run off the field against Notre Dame, 56-13, as Notre Dame scored touchdowns on all 6 first-half drives. And that blowout loss then results in Sam Pittman getting the can. Bobby Petrino is back on the sidelines coaching for this team. It almost feels like a fever dream seeing him, answer questions now as the head coach of this group again. Obviously, he was there way back in the day, and that had a very interesting ending. But now this is a group with a new coach, a new interim coach, new defensive staff, new defensive coordinators. And I'm trying to get the vibe of this team coming off 2 weeks, coming off the bye as well, but 2 weeks of preparation for Tennessee. The pulse to me, I think, will be dictated in that first half, really that first quarter. If Arkansas comes out and is in rhythm, is able to move the football down the field, you could say, okay, this is a rejuvenized group. Credit to Petrino for getting this team ready. But if they come out and look like they did defensively against Notre Dame on those first couple of possessions where as the game goes on, it looks like they just stop caring, that's where you say, okay, this team is, not going to even play in a bowl game this year. So I think the pulse of this team will be dictated in that first quarter on those first couple of possessions for both sides of the football. And I think that's where we'll really get a grasp of what to expect the rest of the way. Allie, what do you make of it, knowing they've had a lot of change over the last couple of weeks?
Well, yeah, having a coaching change mid-season can go one of 2 ways. It can either ruin your identity and kind of be a little all over the place, but it can also go the way that UCLA experienced this weekend, where they had a new play caller and looked like a completely different team. And, that might have just been a Penn State looking past that game. Yeah. Who knows? We'll see what they look like the rest of the season. But they kind of found their identity with a new play caller. It'll be interesting to see whether Arkansas kind of finds more success with this change or if they struggle to find that identity. But they've got to be nervous coming into a Neyland Stadium in their first game after firing their head coach. They didn't seem to have much identity before they fired him. I can't imagine what that looks like now. I would not expect them to be super confident. I expect them to be pretty rattled.
And that's interesting because on Monday, Petrino said that he has a lot of optimism about going into Neyland Stadium. Thinks they're going to be able to handle the road environment pretty well. And I know there's as a coach, like, you're not going to say, "Oh, we're going to be rattled." It's probably going to be too loud for us. They're not going to say that. But I am surprised that he was willing to say, "Hey, we think we're going to go in there and handle it well." We're optimistic about it. Now, we'll have to see if that parlays to the players and their performance, as you're talking about. But at least Petrino, he seems like everything's going to be good. And Buck chimes in on the YouTube chat, says, everyone go buy a neck brace and wear it to the game. Basilio's idea. I dig it. So if you want to do that, go ahead. I don't even know if they'll allow that in the stadium.
I was about to ask, would they let that through?
Yeah, that might be difficult at the Metal Detection Center. But Sam, what's your vibe? What's your pulse with Arkansas right now? Obviously, Petrino feels like they're going to handle this road environment, but do you feel like after the last 2 weeks, they're able to just flip a script that quick?
Yeah, I don't have too much confidence in just this defense kind of magically figuring out how to play defense just because you fire your coach, to be honest with you. And I know that kind of to Allie's point, normally you do see some teams kind of get that interim coach bump sometimes and they go out there and they play a little bit harder. But I've also, read some reports and we talked about this morning on Talk Sports that Bobby Petrino is not exactly the most universally well-liked guy in that locker room. And I don't know if, that kind of was Sam Pittman's calling card, was being kind of a nice guy and someone that a lot of people had respect for, but maybe just it didn't really turn out well coaching-wise, whereas Petrino is just a great coach and doesn't really seem like that great of a person. I don't know if that's just going to flip in a week and just be like, hey, we're going to go out there and play our hardest for this guy that's kind of trying to have been like weaseling himself into this head coaching spot and backdoor himself in there after Pittman was inevitably fired. So I think they're still going to struggle defensively, and I still think they're going to be a dangerous team offensively.
Yeah. This Arkansas team, it kind of reminds me of some of these teams heading into the NCAA tournament. It kind of reminds me a little bit of like Alabama or Kentucky from 2 years ago. Really, really good on offense. Their defense is really bad. So it's like they've got to win these shootout games to be competitive. And you saw last week when they go up against a good defense. Well, timeout. Notre Dame's not a good defense, but I guess a talented defense, a better defense than they are, which isn't saying much. Their offense was completely canned, and they played an offense that could play with that pace. But we'll focus on the offensive side of the ball first. 36.4 points per game this season, a mark that ranks 22nd nationally, 5th in the SEC. Taylor Green in the passing offense gets most of the headlines, averaging 300 yards per game, a mark that ranks 18th nationally, 4th in the SEC. But its run game has been impressive all season long as well. We saw that last year in Fayetteville when Tennessee traveled there. That run game was a big part of the reason why they were able to come out with a win. And the Razorbacks have been good in the margins offensively too, converting 57.9% of third down attempts, 5th nationally. And they've also scored touchdowns on 17 of 19 red zone trips. Tennessee's red zone defense has been kind of all over the place this season. So those are a couple of points right there for the Razorbacks to key in on. But looking from a defensive perspective for Tennessee, what's the best way to contain the Hogs? And I think it all starts with Taylor Green in the backfield. I go back and watch that Memphis game. I watch that Notre Dame game, and I say, where did Arkansas get thrown off offensively? I think Taylor Green is a really, really good player. I think he can make a lot of plays, but they're also the ones where he does a little bit too much or holds on to the football a little bit too long and puts himself in harm's way. Where Memphis did a really good job of getting into the backfield, forcing him out of the pocket, and then having guys in position to derail the play. So I think if you're able to contain Taylor Green, force him out of the pocket, and have to kind of make some of these, 50-50 balls down the field. Now, obviously, you don't want him to let out and start running down the field, so kind of contain in that sense. But he's not as good when he's rolling out of the pocket in terms of his football delivery. So I think that's a big key. And then again, just putting the pressure. You saw that last week or 2 weeks ago against Mississippi State. Tennessee was able to get in the backfield. Good things happen. Tyree West, knocks the ball out of Blake Shapen's hands. Joshua Joseph scoops it up. That's a touchdown. You had a lot of pressure on that pick 6 for Colton Hood. You put some pressure on these guys, they get a little bit rattled. So that's what I've noticed with Taylor Green. Obviously a very good athlete, an experienced quarterback, kind of similar to Joey Aguilar, a guy that's had to work his way up throughout his career and has done well for the Razorbacks. I've said this time and time again. I think that if Taylor Green were smart, he would have transferred out of Arkansas this year and gone to another school and been a better quarterback, but decided to stay with the Razorbacks and Pittman. And obviously the season hasn't worked out that way. But I think if you contain him and force pressure on him, make him make these like 50-50 throws, I think you can find success there. Allie, where do you find the best way to contain Arkansas defensively for Tennessee?
Looking at this Tennessee defense and how they played against Mississippi State, they were able to sack Blake Shapen 5 times. And how you mentioned Taylor Green tends to put himself in harm's way. I think that we could see quite a bit more of that against Arkansas. And then also looking at their offensive numbers, Alabama A&M and Arkansas State are definitely inflating those.
Yes.
So let's consider that as well. They had 50-plus points in both of those games, and then in the 30s and 13 against Notre Dame after that. So not too concerned about this offense, but I think if our defense plays hard and even improves on what they did against Mississippi State, then this should be a pretty successful outing for the defense.
Sam, Tennessee defense, Arkansas offense, what do you make of it?
Yeah, I mean, I think this is an explosive Arkansas offense, and I think they've done a good job of generating some of those chunk plays, obviously, whether it is Taylor Green's legs or, that deep passing game for them as well. I do think they're an offense that has been really nice in the explosiveness category there. And I think where I'm looking at it now, they're 21 in the country in that aspect of it. And probably kind of adding in the Jermod McCoy type of thing, are you worried about a Ty Redmond kind of getting beat over the top or something like that? So limiting those big plays, not letting them be able to kind of get out on the good foot on some of those drives and go instantly kind of get one of those 20, 30-yard plays type of thing. Just being able to keep everything in front of you with them. I think ultimately you're a much more talented unit in that sense, just to keep everything in front of you and kind of let your talent win out from there.
Yeah, Zach, anything to add?
Safety play. It's got to be better from Andre Turrentine. Just some disastrous routes to the ball so far this year.
I agree.
like Sam said, keep it in front of you. Good safety play, you'll be all right. But you can't blow it up in the backside like they have been.
Yeah, I think their tackle angles really has been one of my biggest gripes. And we talked about that yesterday and what Tennessee needed to improve on. I said health, but also from a, in-game standpoint, got to be better at, some of these plays that extend down the sideline. You saw a couple of them against Georgia where you just had bad tackle angles and allowed them to get, chunk plays or beat to that spot and go past. Now, Arkansas doesn't have the type of speedsters as a Georgia, but they still do have talented receivers. Sentenga is one of them, one of the leaders in the SEC. So that's a guy they're going to have to key on. But those safeties, that last line of defense, you're the ones that prevent those big plays from happening. Turrentine, Farouk have to be better in that sense. Now let's talk about this Arkansas defense. I know it's October, it's Halloween season, and this Razorbacks defense could be a horror movie in itself. The numbers are horrible, allowing 30 points per game, worst mark in the entire SEC. Passing defense, 113 in the country, 15 in the SEC. There are only 16 teams, by the way, in the conference. The rush defense has been even worse, allowing 168 yards per game for the lowest rank in the entire SEC. Opponents on third down, well, you might as well give it to them. 47.7% of the time, the Razorbacks are allowing it. 125th nationally, last in the entire SEC. And Arkansas, I mentioned offensively, they scored on 17 of 19 drives as an offense in the red zone, but when their defense is up against it, they also allow 17 of 19 touchdowns in the red zone. So this is a group that obviously has a lot to work on, and it was kind of surprising last year. Arkansas did play well defensively against Tennessee, really mixed things up and made things difficult. Obviously, we've seen a change in that Josh Heupel offense this year. But I expect Tennessee to be able to have a lot of success on Saturday offensively at home, because we know Tennessee plays a little bit more comfortable, a little more clean at home anyways. And now you've got a defense that just does not stack up. So I think you're going to see a lot of big pass plays down the field. I don't think they have a coverage guy that can match up one-on-one with Chris Brazel, or Brazel, I should say. Mike Matthews, has to bounce back from last week, had a couple of big drops. Braylon Staley as well. But I think the comfortability of playing in Neyland Stadium will help those guys out. So I expect Tennessee's offense to be able to roll in this one. And I know that might sound like a homer pick, but look at the numbers, man. It's hard not to. So Allie, would you share the same, same thoughts in saying that this offense is going to have a lot of success Saturday?
Well, Arkansas's defense is absolutely horrendous, as you said. So I feel pretty confident that Vols will be able to pull through offensively. Also, home field advantage definitely helps. And I don't think that this is a game that this offense is going to look past. I think they're going to try to light it up as much as they can, considering what happened last season. So I think that this game does mean a lot for this team, and I definitely expect them to light it up.
Yeah, you expect some fireworks, not only the ones coming from the top of Neyland, Sam, but some fireworks from this offense up against a defense that is yet to stop a cold this season.
I struggle to find anything good to say about the Arkansas defense.
You know what they say, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say it at all.
At all.
So, I don't know. Look, they're an SEC team, and these are the type of spots, though. Again, as Allie mentioned, UCLA. I mean, if you were a Penn State radio host and in this type of position last week, you're looking at UCLA saying this team's terrible. And I don't expect Arkansas to have that type of turnaround. I don't, especially with this one being in Neyland Stadium and Heupel kind of understanding the pressure. I think James Franklin's kind of a loon. I have a lot more respect for Josh Heupel, but never say never. No one was expecting 0-4 UCLA to do what they did last week, and I'm not projecting Arkansas to do that, but the numbers are really bad defensively.
I'd feel differently about this game if you hadn't lost it last year and if it was on the road. I just think so many players on this team have circled that game just saying, yeah, our season kind of got derailed at this spot last year. I'm going to go get my revenge back. We're going to do it in our home stadium, and we're going to have our fans behind us. I struggle to find a way that Arkansas doesn't get overcome by that environment.
Yeah. Zach, anything else to add?
Go get some style points this weekend.
Yeah.
Get back on track. Get your, we all are on the Joey Aguilar Heisman campaign, but go out there and put yourself on the map. Get your revenge. Get you some style points. Chris Brazzle, Biletnikoff. Just go out there and show off.
Brazzle dazzle. I need some Brazzle dazzles in the end zone. He's got to get a little dance. That'd be a great NIL opportunity for him. A little Brazzle dazzle T-shirt, and he's got a signature dance or something like that.
It'd be fun. Yeah.
What's the target number this week in points? Like Ole Miss put up 35? Am I correct on that? 35, and then obviously Notre Dame exceeded that.
Ole Miss put up 41.
41. Okay. Notre Dame.
Arkansas scored 35.
Okay.
Miss,
okay.
yeah.
So 41 for the Rebels. Notre Dame put up 56. So what's the target number? Like knowing that, to win the game, you've got to put up this amount of points. And also for those style points that Zach's talking about, what's the target number in your eyes real quick? Allie, begin with you.
Oh, I don't know. If Notre Dame was able to score 56 at Arkansas, I kind of want to do more than that because it's at Neyland.
That'd be a lot of style.
But I don't know.
That'd be that'd be Brazzle Dazzle all the way down the field. That'd be a lot.
I'm just happy with the win.
I mean, I don't think Allie's that far off. The total is sitting at 68.5, and they've got the spread at 12.5. So they've got, Vegas in that logic would have Tennessee in the 50s into like 55.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it mind that?
I say 49, my target. I think that's a respectable win. Now, hopefully it's not like 49-45. Hopefully it's like 49-21. But I'd say 49 it would be my target in terms of looking at what Arkansas has done so far defensively this season and knowing what Tennessee can be in their own building. So I'd say 49 right now.
Go try and get a 50 burger up there.
Yeah. Maybe a safety, 51, I don't know, or maybe go for 2 when you get to 48, just trying to get to 50. Yeah. Zach, real quick, a target number for you?
Go get the point total. I'll be taking the over on that one. So go out there and cash that for me.
Okay. Significant to some. All right.
Yep.
All right. When we come back, we'll have some sides this weekend. That will be significant to some. It's our best bets look ahead on Tuesday as we get ready for week 7 of college football. My gosh, this year is flying by. We'll talk about it when we return right here on the Playbook presented by VIP Play.
Catch up with all things Fan Run by subscribing to our podcast feed. Like, rate, and download the show from the Fan Run app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Your smile says it all, so make sure it's saying the right thing. At Knoxville Smiles, we believe healthy teeth mean happy lives. Whether it's a routine cleaning, whitening for that big event, or fixing a nagging toothache, our gentle team is here for you. With flexible hours, family-friendly care, and the latest technology, Knoxville Smiles makes every visit stress-free. Don't wait another day to love your smile. Call Knoxville Smiles today at 865-539-1776 or book online at knoxvillesmiles.com. Smile brighter with Knoxville Smiles.
Rickard Ridge Barbecue, located in beautiful Cove Lake State Park. Rickard Ridge is home of the best ribs in the volunteer state. Smoked daily by pitmaster Mark Rickard. The barbecue at Rickard Ridge is mouth-watering, fall-off-the-bone delicious. Take the scenic drive up I-75 to exit 134. For directions and to look at the rest of the menu, visit Rickard Ridge online at rickardridgebbq.com.
Hi, this is Bo Kregner from the Kregner Group at Realty Executives, and I know there's a lot of choices here in East Tennessee when it comes to choosing a realtor. Here's why the Kregner Group is different. At the Kregner Group, our motto is walking by faith, serving others. It's how I live my life. It's how I run my business. Here at the Kregner Group, we're committed to doing real estate the right way. Faith, honesty, integrity. The Kregner Group. Call me anytime at 865-742-1035 or visit my website at boknowshouses.com.
Hey folks, if you're in need of a lawyer, you need to call my friend Jerry Givens. I've known Jerry since high school and can personally vouch for him. He's East Tennessee through and through, and if you're going through a divorce, bankruptcy, or a DUI case, you'll need someone you can trust on your side to help you navigate the local legal system. You can trust Jerry Givens. Call the law offices of Jerry Givens today at 865-801-9250 to schedule your free consultation. That's 801-9250.
All right, back here on the Playbook presented by VIP Play. A lot of big news dropping in with the last hour. So Joe Flacco going to the Bengals So as I said last week, I said his kids were going to be jumping for joy. They're going to be jumping up and down on the couches waiting for their dad to come home. But now he's going off to Cincinnati. I don't think there's going to be much success there.
This is stupid. We need a Jameis Winston in Cincinnati so bad.
I mean, you got plenty. You got Russell Wilson. You got I thought, on a Jameis topic, I thought it was hilarious. They had mean Ray Lewis from Miami on the promo leading into Florida. So Miami, Florida State Saturday night, they had a promo right before it was mean Ray Lewis right before he was doing the voiceover. And then they switch over to Jameis Winston, the biggest goofball ever.
I love him.
In the seafood section.
Yeah, gosh, man. He's revived, he's had a good career. And he might not be a great quarterback, but he's well liked and well respected. That Sanchez guy should take notes. And then also Deion Sanders having emergency surgery today, 4-hour procedure on his leg to get rid of blood clots. Hope he's okay. But they said he's going to be back tomorrow. I don't know how that works. I might have read that wrong, but anyway, that's scary. Hope he's okay. All right, best bets look ahead presented by VIP Play. Folks, go claim your VIP Play welcome bonus. When you make your first bet of $20 or more, you'll get $100 instantly in bonus bets by using the code FANRUN. That's FANRUN in all caps to claim those bonus bets. And right now, if you're a college football or NFL fan, there's not a better site to use if you're in Tennessee than VIP Play. Dynamic odds, plenty of profit boost, and different ways to get involved in the action. Giveaways galore. VIP Play truly rewards the customer that is using the service, so make sure you use it. FanRun is the code, all caps, $100 in bonus bets when you use it. Gambling problem, call 1-800-889-9789. Must be 21 years or older and located in Tennessee to bet. Okay, folks, we get started early this week. How about Friday night? Can I entertain you in an American battle between South Florida and North Texas? This one's going to be fun. Right now, South Florida is 1.5 point favorite here. They opened at plus 2.5. This line has swung 3 points in favor of the Bulls. Right now, I kind of look at North Texas as a solid play. Now, this line has moved accordingly as the money has come in on South Florida, the more popular team that everyone has seen. But don't shy away from North Texas. I'm not saying take them right now, but I'm interested to see where this line ends up on Friday when we do our best bets. Looking at that one. Rank versus rank matchup here. It's not going to apply to my system, but it's Ohio State and Illinois. Buckeyes minus 14.5. This line was at 16.5, 15.5 earlier in the week. Come down a little bit, but that's a big number to lay. I don't think I'm going to take that one. Alabama, Missouri is one of the first ones in the SEC where I raise an eyebrow. The Tide are minus 3. Now, I like Missouri. I like Bo Perbula. This is a 12 o'clock kick, but I feel like this might be the week where a lot of people try to take like the sharp side or they don't take the Vegas trap. I'm not a Vegas trap guy. I don't think there's a trap game out there. I think it's all about spots. And I think Alabama's about a 4.5 point better team on the road than Missouri. So I like the minus 3 right now with the Tide. And I feel like just a lot of people this week, especially after a couple games last week, like Cincinnati was a short favorite at home against Iowa State. Everyone and their mother loved Iowa State. Now all those bettors are going to come in this week and say, well, okay, well, last week I missed Cincinnati. Now let me get like on the right side with Missouri. I like Alabama right now. Oregon, they opened up as like a 9.5 point favorite. This has dropped down to around a touchdown. This will be a system play for me. I like the Ducks at the 7.5 over Indiana. I have a lot of respect for Fernando Mendoza and company, but I think the Ducks are really, really good. I put this down about an hour ago. I got Oklahoma at plus 2.5. The line is now down to 1.5. John Mateer is looking to play. That's big because on a neutral site field, I think Oklahoma's the better team, but I do wonder how the pressure of now having 2 losses for Texas builds up. Like they know they have to win out now. They know they have to win this next one. And I love these spots in college football too, because like you'll have a team lose one week and everyone's out on them. And then they like win the next week because they have to. Like, it's just like one of those things. So right now, I would probably take Texas, but I put Oklahoma down because I knew the line was going to move when the Mateer news came out. So that's where I currently sit. Obviously, we got a lot of other games this week as well, but we'll talk about those through the rest of the week. We've got to come back for hour number 2, though. We've got our Week 5 NFL takeaways, plenty to cover. So this has been our Best Bets Look Ahead presented by VIP Play. When we come back, it's a lot of NFL. Stay right here. It's the Playbook presented by VIP Play on Fan Run Radio.
Follow us on Twitter or X or whatever they're calling it these days at Fox Sports Knox, Fox Sports Knoxville, Fan Run Radio.
Today, we raise a glass of Jameson Irish whiskey to the sport of football. Hear, hear!
To Gaelic football, born in Ireland in 1885 in its thrilling blend of soccer, rugby and basketball. On a massive field, 15 players kick or hand pass a round ball to score points over a bar or into a net. No pads, no helmet, no sense.
Hear, hear!
To college football, which kicked off in 1869 when Rutgers beat Princeton 6-4 in the Battle of New Jersey. With 11 players and helmets and pads, teams battle on a 100-yard gridiron with explosive pass plays and hard-hitting tackles. Unless you're called for targeting.
Hear, hear! Since 1780, Jameson Irish whiskey has been enjoyed by sports fans all around the globe. Whether your football is Gaelic, American, or even soccer, we can all agree on super smooth Jameson Irish whiskey. Hear, hear!
Are you tired of waiting on interest rates to drop before you start saving money? I'm Chris Burleson with University Lending Group, and I've got a better way. With a traditional closed-end mortgage, most of your payment goes straight to interest, not your balance. But with my Smart Loan, every deposit you make cuts your principal immediately and reduces interest in real time. On average, my clients pay off their mortgage in just 7 years. Call me today at 865-388-7634 or visit smartloantn.com and let's turn your income into financial freedom. NMLS number 332941.
Blackford Veterinary Surgery Referral specializes in surgeries not regularly performed by your pet's general veterinarian. They're currently accepting referrals from vets all across the country. With their newly renovated state-of-the-art surgery center and highly trained staff, clients can rely on professional and thorough care. If your vet says that your pet needs surgery or rehab, ask for a referral to Blackford Vet and let them get your best friend back on its feet. Located conveniently in West Knoxville. For more information, visit blackfordvetsurgery.com.
Knoxville, get ready. The Big Sports Show is coming Saturday, November 8th at the World Exposition Hall. Meet your favorite sports stars, Hall of Famer Earl Campbell, baseball greats Wade Boggs, Dwight Gooden, and Jose Canseco, plus UT legends Shamiqua Holtzclaw, Carl Pickens, and many more. Autographs, photos, and memories you'll never forget all in one huge day. Tickets on sale. Get yours now at BigSportsShow.com. That's BigSportsShow.com. The Big Sports Show, Saturday, November 8th, Knoxville. Don't miss it.
You're listening to FM 105.7 and AM 1340, WKGN Knoxville, and W289CU Knoxville, Fan Run Radio.
Ready to launch your career? Axle Logistics is a leading third-party logistics company where excellence is an energy. With an award-winning culture, Axle proves that positive outcomes come from a positive environment and a work hard, play hard mentality. At Axle, the drive for success is infectious. And with an uncapped commission structure, hard work isn't just noticed, it's rewarded. For those with big goals and even bigger dreams, Axle Logistics is the place to start your career.
Here we go. Hour number 2 on a Tuesday, live from the White Claw Hard Seltzer Studios. It's the Playbook presented by VIP Play. Allie Campbell, Sam Beard, Zach Elliott joining you. And we had Trevor Lawrence earlier, too. That was fun. I'm William Pattison. We appreciate you hanging out with us. Great stuff in hour number 1. We'll continue it here in hour number 2. Plenty to cover, including all around the Shield, the NFL Week 5 takeaways, and we'll react to Talk Sports Power Rankings that they gave out earlier in the day. Cody McClure's MySpace Top 8, John Reed's Top 5. We'll tell you whether we agree or disagree on those lists. Let's get right into it. Okay. Obviously we had our Jaguars time earlier. And again, thank you to Trevor Lawrence for coming in and doing that segment. So we'll talk about the rest of the action. And we're going to begin with the the local team, the semi-local team here in Knoxville. It's the Tennessee Titans, represent the state, and they did it well. Even though the Buffalo Bills and Philadelphia Eagles both lost for the first time in Week 5, it was the Tennessee Titans' improbable 22-21 comeback against the Arizona Cardinals that was the hot topic on yesterday and today. That was especially true if you had picked Arizona as your survivor pick. A lot of people in these survivor pools have the Cardinals. That's the thing that's tricky about the Titans. You can always be the spoiler, and it feels like everyone was, feels like every week, like whoever plays the Titans, you kind of go down the list. Okay, Titans playing who? And then you kind of put the survivor there. I'm not being mean, Sam. I'm not. But I'm just saying, early in the season, it's kind of been that way. So a lot of upset people, including the Cardinals, who entered Sunday at 2-2 with both losses coming by a combined 4 points. They were hosting the 0-4 Titans, who hadn't even come close to winning a game yet this season. And as expected, the home team was well on its way to its third victory, building a comfortable 15-point lead at halftime and looking to add to its total in the third quarter. And quickly, things went awry. And I don't know how we are in 2025. This is my first takeaway on this one. I don't know how we're still in 2025 when we got guys dropping the ball before the end zone. How many times do you see that happen? Like Adonai Mitchell did it last week.
That's the problem. It happened last week. It should happen once a season, and it should be like in the practice film, being like, "Hey, don't be this guy and drop the football. Make sure that you get across the goal line." But we've got it back-to-back weeks.
I don't get
Stupid.
It's like I think it's like a mental thing of like you see, like you just kind of feel like you're in the end zone and you just drop it. But like if I were running it, like well, we're already going to get a Jags reference 4 minutes into the second hour, but like Devin Lloyd last night, he was tucking that thing all the way in. Like, no, there was no,
until you get into like the colored paint in the end zone.
Yeah.
Just don't drop the football.
Hell, if I were a coach, you just hold on to the football until the ref starts prying it out of your hands. Like that's the way I would do it. But I don't know how we're still having that issue. Year over year, there's always some idiot that does it. Now we've had one back-to-back weeks. So that was one thing. But for the Titans, though, for an 0-4 team, you need to find momentum. And I think you got momentum off of that because it was a little bit of a relief. That would have been the kill shot for the game, most likely. And the Titans get the ball back. They drive down the field. They're able to, get together a good couple of drives. And then, look, I'm going to be completely blunt here. Cam Ward makes a horrible read, makes a bad throw, and the Cardinals pick it off. They fumble it. Tyler Lockett ends up with it in the end zone. You need stuff like that to happen if you're an 0-4 team trying to get a win on the road up against a team that, very well could be 4-0 if a couple of things went, a different way in the prior weeks. So you need things to go your way. I didn't love the Cam Ward throw there, but I will say Cam Ward led a really nice drive down the field to end the game, put Tennessee in field goal position and game-winning position. So credit to him for that. I don't think he's been great this season so far in terms of his completion percentage and, in his accuracy, but that was a young quarterback, kind of growing up a little bit. That was a really good moment for him. So the Titans are not back in my eyes because I still think you probably should have lost the game if, a couple of things don't go so blatantly your way. But I will say it is good for the Titans to get a win. Sam, you're a Titans guy. What'd you make of it? Are the Titans back?
Absolutely not. No, the Titans are anything but back. This is more of a Cardinals choke than a Titans win, in my opinion. But to your point, when you're an 0-4 football team and you just kind of feel like there's no hope at the end of there's no light at the end of the tunnel, I think being able to just go out there and kind of get an improbable victory, especially on the road, I do think that will give that locker room a little bit of confidence. You're going to go play a Raiders team on the road that hasn't really been playing all that great of football lately. So, I mean, maybe you can kind of you can start stacking some wins maybe, but no, I mean, I think you got to just kind of take it where you can get it and say, yeah, we didn't play great, but we also didn't give up and you kept fighting in that football game. And to your point, yeah, like kind of after that Cam Ward what should have been an interception that turned into a touchdown. I thought he was fantastic down the stretch and made some big time throws, absolutely, to kind of get them down into field goal position to win that one. And don't look now, William, but that was the largest road comeback win by a rookie number one quarterback since 1970.
Oh, okay.
Largest comeback win by a rookie quarterback drafted number one overall. He finds himself at third in that list, only behind Matthew Stafford, John Elway, and Andrew Luck. So that's pretty good company to me.
Okay. Well, okay. I'll give you the stat. That's probably something I would say about Trevor. Like, Trevor's
got to find it where you can get it, William.
Trevor, like last night, Trevor was the first quarterback on a Monday night with a full moon. So you got to go down the list. But yeah, I'll give him credit. Cam Ward found a way to win. Titans got to win. Allie, something to add from this one.
Just impressive how they were able to come back here, but the Cardinals were not playing their best game either. So they gave a lot of opportunities to the Titans that they did take, and they did take advantage of that. But yeah, I mean, it's a comeback win. It's good. Possible Raiders opportunity next week. So we'll see.
Yeah. Another thing too, there was a very interesting reaction on the sideline from Cardinals coach. What is it? Gannon. I'm trying to remember his first name. I'm gonna have to look this up real quick. Cardinals head coach, Sam. You don't? Okay, I don't think you hear me. But anyway, it's something. I want to say Carson Gannon. I think is his full name. But anyway, he goes up to DeMarcado after the fumble, and kind of gets up in his face, starts kind of pushing on him, stuff like that. It made headlines throughout Sunday and into Monday, and I don't know, man. I felt like it was a little bit overdone, but also that was the biggest idiot moment of the weekend. Like, you've got to rip your player for that. Talking about Gannon kind of getting up in DeMarcado's face. Like,
I think the punch is the big thing that people are kind of looking at.
Was that crossing the line in your eyes?
It's hard to tell, man. Like, I think you can argue it in both ways in like the NFL aspect of things. Like, hey, you're a professional. Like, you got to be better than that. I think you can say it in that way, or you can say like, hey, he's a grown man. He knows that he just made a mistake there. You don't necessarily have to punch him to kind of get the point across. But I do think it would be magnified more if it was like a high school football game or a college game, whereas NFL, it's like, yeah, man, you're getting paid a lot of money to go out there and not specifically do that. And so I think he had every right to go out there and rip into him. I don't know if he needed to lay a punch at the end of it, though, too.
I haven't seen the video, so granted, or like take that into account when I say this, but I think that this is an absolutely inexcusable way to lose the game. So the coach being absolutely furious is so incredibly valid. I don't know how you approach that necessarily, but this is like you're being paid so much money, like Sam said, you need to that is just absurd. I think it's valid.
I'm sure it's like his emotions just kind of boiling over there too. Like he's kind of walking away from him and he just kind of gives him like a little punch, like right in the shoulder pads. It wasn't like gut punch or anything like that. It was kind of just like hey man, like you got to be better than that.
Yeah. And it's Jonathan Gannon, by the way. I said Carson Gannon, errors and omissions, but yeah, Gannon looks like kind of like a centipede in my eyes. So like it'd be tough to have a guy chewing me out that looks like that. I don't know. That's probably mean for me to say, but Zach, what'd you make of that interaction? Did you see that?
I fall somewhere between like, hey, we're in the age of like, that's just not acceptable. But also like you just dropped a ball at the goal line. Like how as a professional football player, that should be the last thing. Like get the ball across.
Yeah.
Do whatever whatever you want to do. Congratulations, you scored, but don't drop the ball short of the end zone.
Yeah.
Like, I'm with indefensible maybe, but like don't drop the ball and it won't happen.
Yeah, I agree. All right, real quick. I think we've got one of our former producers on the line. It's Tyler. And I'm interested to he texted me. He goes, I have a confession. What's the number? So we'll bring Tyler on. Tyler, what is your confession? And is it Ravens related or is this about the boys from Duval?
It might be the boys from Duval, William. I'm way past my Baltimore Ravens. They're a shell of them former selves. I was definitely wrong about them. They don't have what it takes this year, sadly, and a coaching change does have to be made immediately. But, William, in previous shows, we talked about, the AFC South and it being a wide-open division. And, you can make the claim that the Colts are the most shocking team in that division, but I think it's the Jaguars, and you've been high on them all off season, and rightfully so. You're a Jags fan, and you know a lot about the team, and they have a good team on paper. But what I'm most impressed about with this team is the fact that even when they're shorthanded, I know Trayvon Walker was out last night. They still found ways to make Mahomes uncomfortable. But, man, they win the turnover margin. And when you're a team like the Jacksonville Jaguars, you need to force turnovers. And we finally saw that big Travis Hunter play. We saw Brian Thomas Jr. connect on a couple long passes. Trevor Lawrence, absolutely gritty performance. I was wrong about the Jags, and this is a legitimate top 8 team in the NFL right now. They're 4-1, gaining some serious momentum. And as it stands, William, I do think that they are a better team than the Indianapolis Colts on paper. Now I'm picking the Jags to win the division. So I'll put my hand up. I said the Texans were going to win that division. I said they were going to have a great defense, and they do have a great defense, but the Jags are the team to beat in the AFC South, and I'm happy for you, William, that you finally have a good football team after, 5-ish years of mediocrity.
Tyler, you've outdone yourself. Wow.
I know. I'm turning the page.
Look at that. Coming off a fall break and giving all this love to the boys in Duval County. Hey, I've got some for you. Hey, Sam, if real quick, we've added in some new bits to the show. I've got some for you here, Tyler. Hit it.
Let me hear it.
Duval.
Oh, God.
We've got some new bits on the show.
I didn't have to produce for you when that was a sound bit on the show. Would have driven myself crazy.
Well, Tyler, we had Trevor Lawrence on the show earlier. He was on in the first segment, and we had plenty of Duvals from Liam Cohen.
Oh, I'm sure. No, Liam Cohen's a great head coach. Honestly, I'm fairly happy that I parted ways before the Ravens slid to 1-4, because coming to the studio every day would not have been very, very pretty for me. But I am turning a new page, and I'm driving through the mountains right now on my way back home from Maryland to Knoxville, and just the nature is making me think more clearly, and I'm a new man, William Patterson.
Well, Tyler, that's great. I'm so happy that you're seeing the beautiful scenery. Allie, you about to speak up? You about to say, okay. I'm glad that you're seeing the scenery, and I'm hoping you're envisioning that stumble and rumble into the end zone last night.
That was awesome.
Yeah. I'm sorry for your Ravens. I did mention, though, I did have worries about Lamar Jackson and his injury history, if that would pop up again this year. I hate to say I was right about that, but
you were. I tried to tell you and Max Pennell that you guys were going to be wrong, but I wasn't expecting this offensive line to be able to hold blocks for 0.7 seconds, and when the offensive line is as bad as it has been this year, an injury or the risk of an injury only increases, and sadly, I have to pay the repercussions of my overexceeding confidence in Lamar Jackson and his injury history. So back to the drawing board for the Ravens. Got a game against the Rams this week. I'm sure you guys will maybe talk about it later this week. So if it's 1-5, hopefully you guys have a spot open in Duval County for the kid.
Well, there you go, Tyler. We appreciate you calling in. Safe travels back. And
appreciate it.
I'll run into you this weekend for Tennessee and Arkansas. Take care, bud.
1,000%. Looking forward to it. Bye, guys.
All right. Our old producer Tyler calling in. That was nice. That was nice. He's turned a page. I think it's turned over a new leaf is the term, but I guess you can turn a page.
Use both.
I guess you can turn a page. I got one of my idiot friends one time said I turned over a new tree, so it's definitely not that. But that's anyway, funny. So we got a little bit of Ravens in. Obviously, I guess on that topic real quick, because we were going to talk about that game anyway, so might as well bring it up. Have the Ravens officially hit rock bottom, and then should the Ravens consider sitting Lamar Jackson out the rest of the season? I think this defense is so bad that I would. sit Lamar the rest of the season. This is a wash of a year. You're about to be 1-5. They're not going to beat the Rams. If the Texans came in there and railed over you, I don't see how Cooper Rush is going to have much success up against the Sean McVay offense. They're not going to be able to compete. So they're going to be 1-5, and I just don't see the light at the end of the tunnel here. I would bench Lamar the rest of the season, say, hey, man, have fun in Maldives. Go do what you want. Go train. Go get rested up. We'll see you next year, and we'll work on this defense in the draft. Because then you get a high draft pick, top 10 pick in the. I don't think they have their draft rights going anywhere else. Get a top 10 pick. Go get a. I mean, they probably won't be number one, but go get like a Caleb Downs. Go get a Reuben Bain. Bang, you're back in the mix. Go get a good DB. I mean, hell, Jeremiah McCoy might end up playing for him. I don't know, but they're so bad in the secondary. Roblox, Jair Alexander needs to go. He needs to retire. Who was that Colts defender that retired like last week? One of their DBs. He literally just got cooked in one game and decided to retire. That's what Jair Alexander needs to do. He's terrible.
Xavier Howard?
Xavier Howard. Yeah, Xavier Howard got cooked in like week 3 and just said, I'm
For some
done.
reason, I was thinking about him with the Dolphins.
Yeah. It was like, I'm done. I can't do this anymore. But I think the Ravens are done. They've hit rock bottom. This is a wash of a season. No point in rolling out Lamar to go 8-9 and get waxed in the wild card. Well, with this type of defense, would you agree with that, Sam?
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. I don't know if you want to pay a guy that much money and just be like, hey, I know you're hurt and we're 1-4, so we're going to pack it up and just suffer for another 10 or 12 weeks type of thing. But on the other hand, I do kind of see your point. I don't really see that defense getting fixed. They just have they got the injury bug. It happens to a couple teams every year, and unfortunately, it's the Ravens right now. And I do agree with like your ultimate point there. The Ravens are one of the best teams in the league at identifying talent and drafting and developing throughout the draft and stuff like that. So, and they're normally doing that with a pick that's 20 or 23 or something like that deep into that first round. So if you can kind of give this Ravens front office, an entire season basically to be like, hey, we're going to be somewhere floating around that top 10 mark with the way that they draft, I think you could kind of turn some things around pretty quickly over there.
Yeah. Well, that's the last we'll spend on the Ravens, who are now 1-4, the laughingstock of the league that was a Super Bowl contender just a month ago. Crazy how things can quickly change that fast.
Just two NFL juggernauts at 1-4, Ravens and Titans.
Yeah. Do they play this? Do y'all play this season?
Don't believe so.
That's always a great game, though. It
is always
some
good
overarching history from like 2019. But anyway, we'll move back to the competitive football teams. The Broncos got giddy in Philly this weekend as they hadn't trailed in a fourth quarter all season, losing twice on last-second field goals. Sunday in Philadelphia, Denver entered the final period down 2 touchdowns and scored 18 unanswered to get a gutsy 2-point conversion with 7:36 left and a signature 21-17 road victory. And now one of the previous unbeaten teams, the Eagles, now have a loss in the loss column. But I'm here to argue this today, folks. I think the Eagles' record is not as strong as it says. Now, they're 4-1, but look at the method and the ways they've won some of these games. Now, like last week against Tampa Bay, they were able to cause a couple of big turnovers and make a couple of big stops defensively. But I also look back at like that Rams game. Like they're a routine field goal away from being 3-2 right now. There are a number of moments this season they've been in these one possession close games and just gotten a kind of a break. And that's not sustainable for the course of the season. So I think the Eagles are still a good team, but I don't really think there is a head over heels really good team right now in the NFL. Like the Lions, I know are getting a lot of credit, but folks, let's chill. They beat the Bengals, who don't have a good defense or really anyone defensively on that roster. And they've got a backup quarterback. And I saw them week 1 in a playoff type of environment. Like week 1, everyone's ready to go. And the Packers were the way better team. I really don't think there is a great team right now in the NFL. And I think the Eagles are a little bit overinflated because of their record, but they very easily could have 2 losses right now. If a routine field goal goes up the right way and a couple of plays here and there, they could be a 3-loss team right now. So I know like you could go in the margins of any team and say, well, if this doesn't happen, this doesn't happen. You could say the same about the Jags. Like, well, if Trevor Lawrence, doesn't rumble his way into the end zone, they're a 2-loss team. Sure. But I just think like the Eagles and Lions are put on this like pedestal of these great teams, like the best teams in the NFL. I really right now don't think there is a true best team or great team in the league. Maybe the Bills, but even the Bills folded on Sunday Night Football. Where do you stand with the Eagles, and what do you make of that take, that there's not a great team right now in the NFL?
I mean, the one thing I would say, William, if you're pushing back on the Lions sitting there at 4-1 and not really having played anyone, I think you have to give the Eagles a benefit of the doubt for being 4-1 and playing teams like the Rams, like the Bucs. Even though the Chiefs are struggling to start the season, they're still kind of that championship fabric that a team like that has. So I do think that, the first 5 games of this Eagles schedule has been absolutely brutal, and I think it gets a little bit easier here. So I'm going to kind of wait to see, but what I saw on Sunday with that Eagles-Broncos game just didn't give me a lot of confidence, because it kind of felt like they said, all right, well, we're seeing all these things in the media about our wide receivers not being that happy. Let's throw the ball to them all game, and let's just hand it off to Saquon Barkley for 8 carries, basically. And I just think their identity is rooted in Saquon Barkley, and it felt like they kind of got away from that. And so to me, that's a little bit of a concern that they just said, hey, let's please our 2 diva wide receivers and let's go away from maybe the most valuable player in football in Saquon Barkley. I would say I'm starting to get nervous about the Eagles. I'm not going to write them off just yet.
Okay. So I feel like we're kind of on the same wavelength there. I mean, obviously, as you mentioned, some great teams they beat. The Chiefs, the Rams, like Tampa Bay, good teams. But again, I just think, a couple of plays in those games.
It hasn't been an impressive fashion.
Correct. Yeah. Correct.
Yeah, none of it's been super convincing. There's been so many games where they've started out with this big lead and then they somehow give it up and barely scrape away with a win. So we saw that actually not work out in their favor this time. I did watch this game with a Broncos fan.
Okay.
The dad of the girl I was staying with, huge Broncos fan.
Okay.
So it was very exciting to have that work out for them.
Yeah, Bo Nix gets a big time win on the road. I didn't expect that one. I thought the Eagles would just kind of continue to do their voodoo magic. It's tough to view this Eagles team differently, even though they won the Super Bowl last year. I just still think of the Eagles teams that I know with Nick Sirianni looking like a clown on the sideline and just having these collapses or really bad moments. So it's tough to be like, okay, this is now the standard in the league. I still can't take Sirianni seriously, but it helps when you have Saquon Barkley. But hey, they need to be reminded they have him in the backfield and get back to those ways from last year. Let's talk about another big game. We had another undefeated team go down, and that was to the New England Patriots as the Pats knock off the Bills 23-20 Sunday night, just hours after the Broncos beat the Eagles. Bills got off to a slow start. I thought they played sloppy. They turned the ball over 3 times in this one. But Buffalo kept it close. Josh Allen had his opportunities, but my golly, do we have a guy in Drake May? I think he's arrived. That was a big-time game Sunday night on the road, tough environment. Stephon Diggs makes his return to Buffalo, and May was kind of quiet in that first half, but man, was he strong in the second. Made a couple of really nice plays, and it helps when you have that veteran wide receiver in Diggs, who I kind of wrote off after the injury last year in Houston, but he's been good for this. He's been good for this Patriots team, and that's a valuable player to have in these moments where you need to make a play. 3rd and long. You find number 8 and you zip it to him, and he does it for you. So I think Drake May has arrived, but I also think this is a really good coach in Mike Vrabel. Like, I know Titans fans have a lot of differing opinions of how that marriage ended, but if I'm a Titans fan, I have second thoughts about moving off of Vrabel. I know that relationship had kind of expired, but seeing what he's doing right now with a second-year quarterback, and that's his first year with them, and they're already be able to, go on the road and pull out a really tough win. Like, the Bills have looked pretty solid the whole season. Like, they haven't had necessarily a close game other than that Ravens one in week 1. Like, obviously that was back and forth, but like I felt more confident about the Bills and the Eagles heading into this week, but the Pats go on the road and get a really impressive one. Sam, for you, Drake May, has he arrived? And do you have second thoughts as a Titans fan about moving off of Mike Vrabel after watching what he was able to do this week and just early in the season, coaching-wise?
I'm personally a huge Drake May believer, but I don't think, that this Patriots team is necessarily going out there and just taking a huge step because of what Mike Vrabel's done. I just think it's because it's that year 2 bump for Drake May, and I think he got a year to obviously get his feet wet last year, and it was up and down, and then now I do think that team did a good job of going out there and getting some pieces around him, obviously in the draft and in free agency. But yeah, I mean, I just think he's taken a huge step, and he looks so much more comfortable at that position. But I mean, I don't think I'm just going to come in here and say that Mike Vrabel has turned them into a powerhouse, because their 3 wins are against the Dolphins and the Panthers.
Sure, no, I understand. Yeah.
Game. So, I mean, I'm still in kind of wait and see mode. I think they're going to be kind of a frisky fringe playoff team, maybe kind of sneaks themselves into a wild card or something like that. But yeah, I mean, I think the future is very bright for Patriots fans, and I think I'd be feeling very confident that you've got your guy at quarterback in Drake May for sure.
Yeah, Zach, anything from you on Drake May and this Patriots team going on the road and getting a win over the Bills?
It's a great win. I mean, Orchard Park's a heck of a place to go in and win a game at.
Yeah.
But it's going to be fun. I mean, the wins are what they are. You can't really help that. You've gone out and you beat the teams that I guess now you're supposed to beat, I guess. So
yeah,
let's see him against some better competition. And I'm excited to watch Drake play, to continue to play, and hopefully he can find success. But they look good.
Yeah. Yeah, Allie, Drake May for you.
Yeah, he seemed to find his confidence, which I think is huge, and connected well with Stephon Diggs. And I'm a storyline girl, and Stephon Diggs returning to the Bills, his former team. Just love those kind of stories. Glad he was able to get the win, but I think their dynamic is kind of coming to fruition and finding confidence there.
Yeah, Diggs was fired up post-game. Let a couple of expletives out when talking after the game with the NBC crew. But that's emotion, man. And I know that's an emotional return for him. Had so many great moments with the Bills. It's tough to rein all that in, but hell, he played well. He made sure they realized what they lost or had to give up. But obviously, I think Keon Coleman and Shakir and company have been just fine. And when you have a quarterback in Josh Allen, it really doesn't matter who you have around him. It's just more so, can they bring the ball in and make a catch? So we'll continue our Week 5 takeaways, also power rankings on the other side. Stay right here. It's the Playbook presented by VIP Play on Fan Run Radio.
For the fans, by the fans, this is Fan Run Radio, Knoxville.
Fan Run is giving away a huge prize package.
That's a big box. What's in there?
You're going to want to find out.
What's in the box? What's in the box?
Give me the gun. A winner will be drawn live on Halloween during Fan Run Friday at Calhoun's on the River.
To learn how you can earn entries, make sure you're tuning in daily to Fan Run Radio and following us across all of our social media platforms on Facebook, YouTube, X, TikTok, and Instagram.
Yeah, it's another day, but what kind of day is it really? A day of doom scrolling? Laundry day? Nah, it's a White Claw day. Light and refreshing tasting, uniquely cold way filtered. There's an iconic flavor for everyone. So grab a pack, grab your friends. Make the most of each day with those who matter most. When you're together with White Claw, every day is a once-in-a-lifetime experience. You just gotta grab it. White Claw. Grab life by the claw. Please drink responsibly. Hard seltzer with flavors. White Claw Seltzer Works, Chicago, Illinois.
Ball fans, reimagine your home at Broadway Carpets and Flooring for any remodeling or building needs. With a variety of carpets, rugs, hardwood, vinyl, and stone, Broadway has all the flooring and installation options you're looking for, including pet-resistant products like Pet Perfect Carpet from Shaw Floors. Visit their showroom in downtown Knoxville or the location in West Knoxville located on Kingston Pike near Pellissippi Parkway today.
Yee-haw! I've been hooting and hollering ever since I started betting with the VIP Play app. VIP Play has more than 200 leagues, every bet type you can imagine, live betting and live hosts, all with 24/7 support from real live people when you need them. Start betting better with the VIP Play app today.
Don't be a better, be a better with VIP Play today.
Download VIP Play today or head to VIPPlayApp.com. Make sure you use the promo code FANRUN to take advantage of their welcome bonus and so they know that we sent you. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-88-99789. Must be 21 or older and located in Tennessee to bet.
A brand built in Tennessee and born from the love of the game. Inward Half revolutionizes golfing comfort. Crafted by a former pro and dedicated enthusiast just like you, our luxury performance wear guarantees you stay cool and comfortable through every swing and every day. We're not just a brand. We've set out to create a lifestyle for those who understand that impeccable style and premium performance are a hole-in-one. Enjoy the walk-in with Inward Half.
Hey, Vols fans, Cody Brown here. I grew up right here in Tennessee and know what it means when someone says, I've got your back. That's why you can trust Farm Bureau Insurance of Tennessee. Whether it's your home, your vehicle, your family's future, or the business you built from the ground up, we will show up for all of your insurance needs. We are Tennesseans who understand what matters, which is doing right by you. Insurance is not all about just paperwork and policies, but it's about the people we insure every day. So if you want insurance that hits home, give me a call at 865-992-3871. Go Vols.
All right, back here on the Playbook, presented by VIP Play. We appreciate you listening along with us, whether it be on the free Fan Run Radio app, 105.7 FM, 1340 AM here in K-Town on the local dial, or on the X/YouTube live stream. However you're listening and watching, we do appreciate your time. I do like that song, Sam. That was a good one. That was groovy.
I love every single producer's like different take on the intro music.
Yeah.
I like that one. It's good.
Well, I've had like probably in the last year, I probably had like 6 people produce one of my shows. So it's like there's always something a little bit different. It was Jackson Taylor when he used to produce. Actually, I probably had more than 6. I probably had like,
yeah, you definitely have.
I probably damn near had 10. But Jackson Taylor used to crack me up. He'd produce on Friday for me. And every Friday he would play Friday themed songs. Like he'd play like Last Friday Night.
We have a lot of them in here.
Freaky Friday. What the song that is like, it's Friday. I don't even want to sing it. But it's
Wait,
like,
how does it go?
It's trying to bait me into that one there. But anyway, gosh bless. All right, we'll continue NFL Week 5, our power rankings as well. I do want to check the YouTube chat real quick. Buck, when naming his power rankings, he says Eagles, Lions, Bucks, Bills, and Jags. Thank you, Buck, for throwing the Jags in there. Eagles absolutely coming off of the Super Bowl championship. Lions have been strong, even though I kind of dismissed them a couple of weeks ago, but they've been able to put things together. The Bills as well, only one loss for them, but how about Duval being thrown in there? Thank you, Buck. And then Jake Smith with an Ole Miss Colonel Reb profile picture says the Hogs going to keep that win streak going. Tennessee sucks. That's how Tennessee wins. They barely scrape away with the win. We've got a rage baiter in the chat. Jake Smith.
Wow.
That doesn't seem like a government name. I don't know. Jake Smith sounds a little generic, but we appreciate you listening, Jake, and the engagement. But Ole Miss PFP.
And his name is for Arkansas.
Did Ole Miss really pull away against Arkansas?
Yeah, they won by 6.
We needed an Arkansas fumble for them to win that game.
Jake Smith's trying to stir up the chat. All right. Anything else from Week 5 that we didn't cover? I know we had a lot of topics on here, and also had a call in from Tyler. But Chargers lose. I put lost some charge. Half the reason I want to talk about these is just because of the headlines I put. Lost some charge. Indy Hunt,
Brett would give you a bunch of hate for that.
Brett doesn't like
them.
He does not like them. But he started to come around. He said something last week.
He likes them. He just likes giving you a hard time.
Oh, I know. He lost
William.
Lost in the Sauce was the first one, and he was like, "What?
Yes.
What'd you just say?"
Yes. They're creative.
I know. Have some fun. Come on. All right. So anything else from Week 5? Any of y'all that we missed? Didn't hit to? Okay. All right. Well, let's react to Talk Sports Power Rankings. Sam Beard is also on Talk Sports. That's his usual show. Obviously, he's filling in this week for Brett, helping me out. But Cody McClure, John Reed give their power rankings every Tuesday. Cody does his MySpace top 8. John does his top 5. And Cody's 8 were this: Los Angeles Rams at number 8, Tampa Bay Bucks at 7, 6, San Francisco 5, Jacksonville 4, Indianapolis 3, Buffalo 2, Philadelphia number 1, Detroit. For John, it was Tampa Bay at 5 and number 4, Los Angeles, the Rams 3, the Bills 2, the Eagles 1, the Lions. So the same top 3 for both Cody and John. And, those are all the teams that only have one loss on the season. They've had a good start to the year. Don't have to necessarily debate that, but I am surprised that the Rams and Bucks are right there as, at least focusing on John's. I think there are a couple of teams that maybe deserve to be in that 5 slot, but I think there's kind of a car pile up right now. As I was talking about earlier, I don't think there's a great team right now in the NFL. Like, you could say the Lions, Eagles, and Bills could be that category, but I don't think there's like, okay, this team's going to be in the Super Bowl. Like, I know the Eagles are 4-1. I know the Lions are 4-1, but I have real concerns about the Lions come playoff time. We saw that last year against the Commanders when they had no business losing that game at home. I think the Eagles, I know they won the Super Bowl last year, but I have a hard time believing that this is a team that's going to be able to go on some, gauntlet stretch, dynasty stretch with this group, because I think Jalen Hurts is a good quarterback, but I think he's kind of more of a guy that puts all the pieces together with the guys he has around him type of quarterback. Now for the Bills, it comes down to being the Chiefs, and that's something they can't do in the postseason. And I do have concerns about their secondary. I don't think their secondary is very good, and you saw that with Drake May carving them up in the second half. So I think there are flaws with even some of these top teams. But for this top 5, I'd put more respect on a team like, Jacksonville that's won against San Francisco and Kansas City already this season. I know Tampa Bay has a couple of nice wins. I thought what they did against Seattle was nice, but I mean, the Rams have shown some flashes of inconsistency as well. And I know it's kind of nitpicky here, but I think the Rams at 4 is a little high. Sam, what do you make of the top 5 for John? Is Los Angeles at 4 a little too high for you?
Yeah, I don't think I would have the Rams at 4. I think I'd have them squarely in my top 10. Obviously, I feel like they'd be somewhere around kind of like the 6 or 7 range, just outside like that top 5 to me. But yeah, I mean, I would take a team like the Bucks over them right now. I think I'm still taking that trio of like Bills, Eagles, and Lions. But yeah, I mean, I think it's very close there. I think, like you said, it's kind of splitting hairs at this point, and you're starting to get a bigger sample size, but it's still not large enough where teams have kind of played good teams and bad teams. You're still kind of in that mix of, hey, you've got maybe 2 good teams that you played here and you split the games, and then you've kind of swept all your bad teams. So it's still hard to tell. I still think it's just kind of splitting hairs there between kind of that 4 and 8 mark almost.
Yeah, and you mentioned that 8. Looking at Cody's, he's got Los Angeles at number 8, and I think that might be a little too low, but he's very high on Indianapolis. I think Indy has gotten off to a very impressive start to the season. They've been dominant in their wins, which I think is a big part of how kind of you got to look the part, right? If you're going to be a power ranked team, if you're going to be one of the best teams in the NFL, you got to look the part, and they have looked the part. But, as you mentioned earlier, talking about like how Philadelphia has gone up against some good teams and kind of some of these other teams that haven't necessarily had those quality wins. Like Indianapolis has got to be one of those you talk about, like the Dolphins, they're not very good. The Raiders are a mess. I mean, Geno Smith, good gosh, he's about to start, getting on Indeed or LinkedIn here soon. I don't think he'll be the quarterback much longer. I feel like Indianapolis could be like one of those Miami Dolphins type teams of years past where, man, when they play the bad teams, they let them know. But I'm interested to see what they look like when they start playing some good ones. Now, they got away with that Rams one, or the Ram. Yeah, they got away with that.
The Broncos win.
Yeah, the Broncos win. They got away with the Broncos win. Rams go in there and get it done. I thought that was more of a litmus test game. But I'm interested to see when their schedule gets a little bit harder here soon, kind of picks up. Are they able to have that same type of consistency? Because when you look at those Dolphins teams over the last couple of years, like, man, they'll put 70 points on the Broncos. But, man, when they go up against like the Chiefs or Bills, they look like the winless Panthers. It's just like I don't know if I buy the Colts entirely right now. If I'm choosing between 4 and 5, I know I'm a little bit biased here, but I mean Jacksonville's got 2 impressive wins. You got a win on the road at San Francisco. Not a lot of teams can do that. And you beat the Chiefs on prime time. Where do you sit with the Colts right now, being an AFC South guy and knowing that there's still a long way to go for the season, but I feel like the Colts are a little bit overvalued right now.
Yeah, I think you could definitely say they're a little overvalued. You look at those wins, and like you said, terrible Broncos team, terrible Titans team, terrible Raiders team, and if it wasn't for just a really boneheaded move by the Broncos, you would have lost that game as well. And so I do think they're a little overinflated right now, but that schedule is not even the hardest though either. I mean, when they've got coming up, they'll get the Cardinals at home, at the Chargers, where they're pretty banged up.
I looked at that
right
Chargers
now.
one as one to kind of keep an eye on.
Yeah. And, you get the Titans again at the Steelers. That feels like it's always just a 50-50 game. I don't know. I think the hardest teams that they've got down the stretch here is like Chiefs, Jags, Seahawks, Niners type of thing. And I think they can salvage some of those games out of there. I would be with you there though, William. I think the Jags are playing more complete football right now. I think, kind of the improvement on the defensive side of the football for the Jags to me is kind of the reason why I would take them over the Colts right now. But I still think the Colts are a pretty solid football team, and Daniel Jones is doing what he's asked of, and Jonathan Taylor's just a menace right now.
Yeah, Zach, Colts and Jags kind of looking at that 4 and 5 in Cody's MySpace top 8 power rankings for the NFL. Do you feel like Indianapolis a little bit overvalued right now?
Yeah, I'm switching them. I'd take Jacksonville over Indy, especially with the defense that Jacksonville's playing. Tough to say. I feel like we're gonna, when they play each other head to head, those are the best.
Yeah,
those are also great games usually. But I would switch them right now.
Now, another team that I think is interesting is Pittsburgh. So right now in the season 3-1, but when you look at the type of wins, you've got a win over the winless Jets, the Patriots on the road. They lose to Seattle at home, but they do get the win over Minnesota last week in Ireland. They've got the Browns and Bengals coming up. I think those are both wins. This is going to be a 5-1 Steelers team hosting the Packers. Was this Monday Night Football? I guess October 26th, 8:20 kick. I'd either say Sunday Night Football or Monday Night Football, unless this is a Amazon Prime game. Hold on. Yeah, this will probably be Monday Night Football. Yeah, because Monday Night Football or Sunday Night Football. Anyway, but the Packers come to Pittsburgh. That's going to be a 5-1 team. I feel like right now.
It is Sunday Night Football.
Sunday Night Football, okay. Yeah. I feel like right now, I'm surprised that the Steelers are still not the bet favorite to win the division. They're still like a slight underdog to the Ravens. I don't understand how the Ravens are going to turn things around. I know the Steelers are a little bit older with Aaron Rodgers at quarterback, and a lot of people don't think he can finish out the season, but I think that's kind of ridiculous that the Steelers are still the second favorite right now to win the division. Is that not crazy in your eyes, Sam?
We have been talking about this a little bit, just with the fact that the Ravens are still favored in that division. I feel like this is kind of a paper tiger team as well with the Steelers. I don't know if they're just winning in convincing enough fashion, and if Rodgers is doing enough for them to go be a team that's going to go out there and take a division. But at the same time, the Steelers are going to be right there at like 9-8 every year. And so can the Ravens really get to 9-8 with the way that they've started this season and all those injuries on that roster? I'd probably side with you. I think I'd rather, put my money with the Steelers right now than have to bet on the Ravens making up that much ground with how banged up they are.
And I hate to kind of expose the Steelers because Max was texting me last night, Max Pennell, another former producer of mine and correspondent of the show. But he was like, Steelers and Jags playing well. Both our teams playing well. And I'm like, yeah, I didn't want to say, well, we got wins over some pretty good teams. I don't really know how the Steelers have played yet, but I did agree with him though, and said it is crazy that you're still able to get plus odds with that group. I'm just interested to see if they're able to finish the entire season with Rodgers, right? As he is older and honestly antique in this age of the NFL. But going forward, are they able to keep that up? So I'd say right now, if I had to give my power rankings, it would probably be somewhere along the lines of what Buck was saying earlier: Eagles, Lions, Bucks, Bills, Jags. I'd probably put the Eagles at 1 just because of what they've done to this point. I mean, you have to give them the credit for getting the wins over the Bucks and Rams and Chiefs. But again, I don't think there's that big of a separation within those 5, 6, 7 teams. I I really think there's not a great team right now in the NFL. And we're early in the season, 4 or 5 weeks in. We're going to learn a lot about these teams over the next, 4 or 5 weeks to come. But like, I think a lot of our preseason thoughts, like I thought the Chargers after week 1 were like, okay, here we go. This is the arrival. And I had the Chargers winning the division this year in the AFC West. But now I'm like, okay, well, you got out of the gates blazing hot. Now you've kind of lost a lot of your momentum. So I don't know. The NFL is a week in, week out league. And you can't get too ahead of yourself. But I don't know. I think right now there's a lot of questions more than answers that we have in the league at the moment. All right, that's our NFL Week 5 takeaways and power ranking reactions. When we come back, it's our final thoughts. Stay right here. It's the Playbook presented by VIP Play on Fan Run Radio.
Congratulations. You found sports radio that doesn't suck. This is Fan Run Radio, Knoxville.
At Knoxville Insurance Group, they understand the challenges many consumers face when searching for insurance coverage. That's why whether it's for you, your family, or your business, they create a coverage plan specifically for your unique needs. Knoxville Insurance Group is an independent firm, which means they aren't beholden to just one insurance company. They search multiple companies acting as your negotiator to find you the best possible policy and price. Start a quote in minutes at KnoxvilleInsuranceGroup.com or call them today at 865-694-9788.
Revenge is a dish best served cold, and so is Garage Beer. And this week we're out for both Friday afternoon at Trailhead Beer Market. Join Fan Run Radio for a special live broadcast of The Drive this Friday from 3 to 6 at Trailhead Beer Market in South Knoxville, presented by Garage Beer. We'll be giving away 4 passes to the Tailgating for a Cause tailgate party in Circle Park, complete with food, beverages, and TVs for early game watching. One lucky Fan Run listener will win the passes, plus a Garage Beer tailgate prize pack, including a retro tailgate folding chair, shirts, hats, koozies, sunglasses, and more. Registration begins at 3 p.m. with the drawing at 6 this Friday at Trailhead Beer Market, 1317 Island Home Avenue. Come get ready to roast the hogs on a football Friday at Trailhead Beer Market, presented by Garage Beer. American-owned, Tennessee-brewed, 100% beer-flavored beer.
Have you ever found yourself wishing your clothes looked brand new again? Whether it's your favorite suit, that little black dress, or your comfy winter coat, Crown Cleaners can make it happen. From stubborn stains to delicate fabrics, the expert team at Crown Cleaners uses the latest cleaning technology to ensure your clothes come back looking and feeling fresh. Visit one of their 2 area locations, Kingston Pike on Bearden Hill or South North Shore Drive near Dunkin' Donuts. Online at crowncleaners.com. Crown Cleaners, a tradition of excellence.
Are you thinking of buying a home but don't know where to start? Well, call VFL Josh Travis, your local mortgage expert with Foundation Mortgage, based right here in Knoxville. Whether it's your first home or your forever home, he'll keep the process simple every step of the way. To get started, visit mortgagebrokerjosh.com or call 423-312-9777 today. Foundation Mortgage Company, LLC is an equal opportunity housing company. NMLS number 1387311.
All right, final thoughts here on a Tuesday edition of the Playbook, presented by VIP Play. Fun episode today. A lot of action, a lot of Duvals. Good stuff today. You got The Drive coming up next. Russell Smith, Bob Baskerville, the Bear, and Walker Smith will round out your Tuesday in K-Town. Hopefully this weather will clear up a little bit. It's always hard for me to wake up in the morning when it's raining because my cave is a lot darker when the sun's not there. So,
man cave.
Well, it's not even my man. It literally, people like my friends call my place the dungeon. Like it's just, it's one of those old places, an old city. It's brick and concrete, and it's just dark.
You got windows? It sounds like you live in a prison.
I've got 2 windows, but it looks out into like a forest. So so it's a forest, but then down below it's our courtyard, and everyone and their mother's walking out a dog, and they're all barking. Anyway, whatever.
I'm also in our basement. It gets pretty dark.
Well, I'm not in the basement. I'm on the 2nd floor, but it's just
I'm in a dungeon. If
okay.
you will.
Okay. But yeah, it's tough to wake up when it's raining. So anyway, Final thoughts. A couple of things we didn't get to last week. Bad Bunny is going to be the Super Bowl halftime performer. I don't know. There's one song I played it during the break. Monaco was like some. It's a sound on TikTok and Instagram Reels. Like I know it from that, but I don't know him as a singer. So I feel like it's going to be tough for a lot of people to align with that. I know he's huge nationwide. He's collaborated with some of the biggest American artists like Travis Scott, but he doesn't really align with me. So I don't really know if I liked Kendrick Lamar last year. I know that's an acquired taste for some people as well. But apparently Taylor Swift was their first pick, but she wanted like royalties off of it or wanted to, have her own production on the show, something like that.
Is that official? I didn't know that they did.
I'm pretty sure that was the first ask.
I thought she said she was too locked in. There was something today that she was too locked into her tour or something like that, maybe.
Is she torn? She's not torn right now, though, right?
No.
She just got off her tour, I thought.
Yeah.
That would have been a huge hit. Every
See, okay, you know this, but I am a big Taylor Swift fan. I wouldn't say I'm a Swiftie in all that category, the crazies, but I'm a big fan of her and herself.
Yeah.
I would not necessarily want her to do the halftime show because I think that a lot of Taylor Swift fans would buy out the tickets because they don't care how expensive things are. And so I don't want them to take over the Super Bowl. Like,
Allie, good point.
There should be like football fans in there. So
that's a good point. I will say the thing about the Super Bowl is like, it's nothing but like corporate people anyway. Yeah. Like that's the thing that sucks. Like national championship's expensive. Like you'll run for like $1,000 to go see Tennessee go play in a national championship. Honestly, if Tennessee played, it'd probably be higher. But the Super Bowl is not even. I mean, you can't even get in there. It's so
that's
high.
true. I guess it's a money thing either way.
But that's a good point though. The Swifties.
I've never thought of that.
The Swifties have some money.
I would be a fan of her being like a surprise guest because then there's like no one knows about it. So then because I like her performances and stuff, but I just don't like them overtaking it.
I wonder what Bad Bunny's going to perform. I mean, I don't have enough of an opinion to get riled up. Like some people are online.
You got some in the system if you want it.
Yeah, play that. Sing along. Try to.
Yeah.
Is this it right here? He's got some groovy stuff.
I don't think I know a single one of his songs.
I've heard this before, but I don't really. Oh, yeah, I know this one.
This seems like your kind of music.
Okay. It's groovy. It's groovy, but I don't know the words. So it's like.
Yeah, it's Spanish. You don't know how to speak Spanish, William. That is correct.
Oh, it's Spanish?
Yeah.
Yeah. I need like Rosetta Stone before the Super Bowl.
You said you had 4 months to learn it.
Yeah, he was on SNL, right?
Yeah.
Wait, I know we have to wrap up soon. What would be y'all's pick for the Super Bowl if you could choose?
Oh, well, everyone knows mine.
Well, okay. Has Lady Gaga done it?
Yeah, she's done it.
Oh, really?
I would say Drake. Honestly, like Drake's big enough. I mean, like Kendrick Lamar does it. Drake should do it, but Travis Scott would be my answer. Real quick, we got about a minute.
I feel like everyone that I would want to is like already performed. I don't keep up with like modern music well enough. I like listening to old stuff.
Okay. Well, older person could be deceased. Who would you like wanted to see then? Like, I feel like Michael Jackson would have been cool.
He did it.
I know. I just like now to experience
just
it now.
Yeah, that would be cool.
We need like a big performer.
Mm-hmm.
Travis Scott. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Anyway,
or Morgan. Travis Scott and Morgan Wallen together.
No, okay, that wouldn't flow. But I could see a country artist. That would be fun.
Yeah.
I think Luke Combs would actually probably
take over Neyland, take over Super Bowl.
Keith Urban's got a lot of time on his hands now. Maybe he could do it. All right, that's going to wrap it up for the Playbook presented by VIP Play. We appreciate you listening along with us. For Allie Campbell, Sam Beard, Zach Elliott, I'm William Patterson. Coming up next, it's The Drive right here on Fan Run Radio.